Good evening. Welcome, everyone. So glad to see you all here. Welcome to the North American premiere of A Star is Born by Bradley Cooper. My name is Cameron Bailey. I'm the artistic director here at TIFF. I am thrilled to see you all here. I think you're in for a treat. I want to begin, as we always do, by acknowledging where we are tonight, the land that we're on. This is the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat First Nations. They've been on this land, taking care of this land, and sharing this land for thousands of years, and we're grateful to be a part of this community. The film that you're about to see is eligible for our most important prize, that is called the Grolsch People's Choice Award. And because you know best, you get to decide who wins it. So please vote. The way you do it is you go online to tiff.net/vote. You can do that on your computer, on your phone, on whatever device you have that's connected to the internets, and vote for your favorite films. Big thanks to Warner Brothers Pictures for providing us with this film. They've been a terrific partner of ours for many, many years, and we've had such great nights, sometimes in this very theater, actually, with films from Warner Brothers. So thank you to everyone on the Warner Brothers team. And I am so grateful to the people who brought this film, and there's history with most of them. I remember standing on this very stage to introduce a film called Dave Chappelle's Block Party a few years ago. Some of you might remember that. I remember just last year in another festival venue where we had the remarkable Lady Gaga here, who was here for a documentary about her work and her creative process, and also performed, and it was just electric. It was magnificent. And of course, the man who made this film, the mind behind this film, has been at our festival a number of times before. Bradley Cooper is just remarkable. 4 times nominated for an Academy Award. He's been here with A Place Beyond the Pines, Silver Linings Playbook, of course, one of the most popular films we've ever had at the festival. His other films include American Sniper, so many others. This is his directorial debut, and he has gone back to one of the timeless stories in film history, a story that has been brought to the big screen first in 1937, and in 1954, and again in 1976. And now he has reinvented that story, brought it up to right now, and found a new way to make us all fall in love with these characters. And one of the things I loved about watching the film when we first saw it was it addresses one of the great mysteries, which is talent. And the fact that we can never fully understand talent, where it comes from, how it works, what happens when it's threatened, and it might go away. But the effort and the reach towards that mystery of talent has inspired some great art, some great movies, and some great entertainment, and I think that this movie is one of those instances. I'm so pleased that he's come to introduce the film to all of you tonight. Please join me in welcoming Bradley Cooper.
Hey, that was wonderful. Thank you. This theater is so beautiful. This theater is incredible. Okay, I'll make it quick because I just want to say one thing, maybe a couple of things. People I'm going to bring out who are kind enough to invite us all here. We're so excited to be at the Toronto Film Festival. And what you're about to see is the combination of everybody giving 100%. Every single person that was involved with this film gave all of themselves, starting with Warner Brothers. The fact that you believed in all of us to tell this story really blows my mind. All the producers, the executives. Robert Wilhelm is somebody who's been such a huge part of this movie, and it wouldn't be at Weston Middlebrook also. But I just have to say one thing about Todd Phillips. You know, I did The Hangover 1, and he wrote a card to Zach, Ed, and I. I don't know what it said on the other guys' cards. But I remember, Todd, you're here, and I know you hate that I'm doing this, but I just want to make sure people realize how wonderful you are as a curator of talent. He wrote, I hope you start believing in yourself because there's nothing you can't accomplish. And I remember reading that card, and it blew me away. And thank you, Todd. I wouldn't be here without you. The music you hear tonight, a lot of it comes inspired by and curated by an incredible person I saw at Desert Trip next to Neil Young, and I found myself only looking at him, which is incredible. He's a huge part of this movie. He's Jackson's band is his band, Lucas Nelson. Another incredible actor, and I said this before, and it's true, he's going to be up here, no doubt. I don't know how soon, probably very soon, with his own movie that he wrote and directed. He plays Ramon, Anthony Ramos. I've been so lucky with this cast, casting truly is everything. Faces and eyes and voice and heart. And I had the great opportunity of meeting in person the next actor I'm going to bring out, and became friends with him. And there was just a dynamic that I wanted to capture, and it took me 2 years to get him. It's very hard to nail this guy down. And when he showed up and brought his daughter, who's also incredible in the film, as you'll see, he is magic. Dave Chappelle. This movie, hopefully, you'll relate to. It's all about relationships and where you come from and family and trauma. And I asked this next actor to go on a journey with me that was going to cost us something. And he showed up, and the movie enters into this relationship at the third act of it, and he showed up and he delivered. It's the hardest thing to come in and out of a movie. And for him to have to deliver the performance he did, I'm eternally grateful. Sam Elliott. This movie changed my life, full stop. And it's because of the next person I want to bring out and thank. It's one thing to feel that inspired to do something. It's another thing to actually put the work in to do it. And I got lucky because I had a partner walking with me up this huge mountain that is this movie. I know you all have observed her God-given talent, but what I hope you see tonight is not only is she just an incredible actress and can play this character in such an incredible way, but she has the heart of a person that I only hope to have half of. She's filled with light, and thank God she's here and creating the art that she is, Lady Gaga.
I am so humbled and so grateful to be here this evening. This has completely changed my life, this movie. And it's changed my life not because of just the film, but because of these incredible, loving, kind people that I'm on stage with. I love my cast so much. And to say that Bradley is a consummate professional and an incredible filmmaker would be an understatement. I felt privileged every single day that I was on set to watch him work with a ninja-like precision, with such a vision, such a passion, and then also a liberation. I really believe that we all fell in love like a family on this set. And I hope that you feel the love from us tonight that we put into this film. I'm just a... Thank you. I'm just a girl from New York that at a very young age dreamed of being an actress. And there can be 100 people in the room and 99 don't believe in you. But I had this one incredible talent with me every step of the way, and he believed in me. And thank you immensely to Warner Brothers, but above all, I have to thank my director, and thank you, Bradley. It is such a privilege to be the first lead actress in your first movie. Thank you.
All right, enjoy the show.
We have the director of A Star is Born, Mr. Bradley Cooper, and his cast: Lady Gaga, Sam Elliott, Anthony Ramos, Lucas Nelson, and Dave Chappelle. All right. We're going to try and have a conversation here. Let's see how we do. Congratulations, first of all, Bradley, to you, Gaga, to everyone here. You guys have done remarkable, remarkable work. Except for tying your shoelace. That maybe should have been done backstage, but that's all right. When I first saw the film, the thing that struck me most is that it is both epic in scale and in the emotion of it, but it's also very intimate. And I want to ask you first about building this world where you could be really close to your characters, but also have that kind of big rock stadium scale. And do you have a microphone?
Yeah, you can hear me? No. First of all, thank you guys for watching this movie. It really, it took a pound of flesh out of all of us. It really did, to quote Shakespeare. But it really, it's hard. It's going to be hard for us to talk about it right now, I think. So bear with us. What was the question?
The question is just about it being both intimate and epic at the same time, and how you managed to get close.
Yes,
and
good question. Yes. Yeah, I mean, early on, the inspiration for this movie were a lot of various moments that I was observing in life, and I had the honor of going to Yankee Stadium and watching Michael Cooper. Are you out there? I don't know if he's here. But I was with Michael Cooper, and he, it was Metallica, and I was behind Lars Ulrich's drum kit, and I saw the stage through that point of view, and I thought, oh wow, I can't believe I'm seeing the sweat on the back of Lars's neck, and almost feeling his breath, and also seeing the scope of the crowd. And that was the first idea I had for always being subjective on the stage. And it all came from that. And then I just started thinking about characters and what their relationship to other people. And so Jackson's constantly avoiding the camera all the time, where she's not even aware of the camera. She walks out into the middle of the bathroom in the opening. She's in the center of the stage when she doesn't even know she's on stage yet. And then slowly, as Jackson has his reckoning, by the time he comes back from rehab and he's in the bed, the camera's right there over him. He can't escape anymore. And Sam, who plays Bobby, who's incredible, isn't he incredible? What a miracle that he did this movie. He also deals with the camera in the same way, and so that inspired then the framework of how I wanted to structure all those shots.
Gaga, can I ask you about taking on this role? You've done acting before, of course, but you have another career, and I wonder, first of all, what it was that attracted you to it. Was it Bradley's involvement? Was it the screenplay? Was it the character who's been played in other versions of this story by people like Barbra Streisand and others?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Cameron, for this wonderful interview, and it's so wonderful to see all of you here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it so much. And, you know, truly any other answer would be a lie. It's this guy, this man sitting right next to me is the reason that I wanted to make this film. From the moment that he came to my home and I opened the door and we locked eyes, I felt an instant connection with him. And, you know, we're both from the East Coast, and we're both Italian. So before I knew it, I was heating up some leftovers, you know, and we were eating together. And then he said, "Do you want to sing this song called Midnight Special?" And I quickly printed out the sheet music, and I sat down at the piano with him, and I was sight reading, and I was nervous, and I didn't know the song all that well.
She was nervous.
And then all of a sudden, he began to sing. And I said, I just stopped playing instantly, and I looked at him, and I said, "Bradley, your voice is incredible. You have a real voice." And he sings from his soul. He sings from his gut. There are people that can do many acrobatics with their voice, but to tell a story is a completely different animal. And I could hear it instantly. He was telling a story sitting there right with me, and he filmed us singing together for the first time. We were laughing and harmonizing and playing off one another. I love singing with him. And the truth is, I made this film with Bradley because I believe in him as a filmmaker, as an actor, as a screenwriter, as a musician. All of it. He has it all in spades, and I just feel very privileged to be on this stage here with you tonight.
The two of you are taking a lot of risks in this film. Bradley, this is your first time directing a feature film. Gaga, this is really your first time with a big leading dramatic role, although you've done a lot of acting before. Dave, you are also playing a dramatic role, and people know you better for other things. So everybody's doing something that people do not expect in this movie. Dave, what was that like for you?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for having me, and I love you on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I'm totally joking. Come on, buddy, I'm having a good time.
Thank you.
And man, I gotta tell you, I've never seen the movie before just now.
Really, you saw it just first time tonight?
Good God, I feel like terrible right now. Like I need a drink. What was the question again?
The question, I think, was about not being funny.
I talked about this a little bit in the press conference, but it's a really hard thing to explain. But Brad did this thing, like I've done movies before, but just like comedy movies. Like clearly I'm out of my element and I'm working with like heavyweights, right? So, but Brad did a thing, not just with me in particular, but in general, he just cultivated an environment that made it possible to channel like raw inspiration. Literally, we would be just sitting before a take, and he would just talk to me about a scene. We would talk about the relationship of the characters. We would talk about, what things were about, and then I would see that Bradley was slurring his words, and then as we were talking about, oh shit, we're shooting. But like for me, like, I never really had much interest in being a movie actor. But if I were a movie actor, it'd be really hard to work with any other director because he's so sensitive to the emotional content of the characters and the people that are portraying the characters. It was amazing to see. And I'm sorry about that Wayne Brady show.
Let's apologize to Wayne Brady. And Bradley and Gaga, again, you're doing things that you're not ordinarily doing. What was it like for you to be directing, to be both in front of and behind the camera on this movie?
You know, it's interesting. The movie I wanted to tell a movie about people needing each other and how hard that is given your background, whether you go through trauma in your life, whether you succeed at what you do in terms of the outside world appreciating it or not, how you deal with that. But the whole thing is that these two people found each other and there's a pure love, and it's easier when you have somebody with you going down the road. And I had that with Stephanie. Going down this road. I can't imagine having the courage to do it without her, quite frankly. She believed in me from the first day we met. We shook hands and we made a barter that she was going to give all of herself to me and she was going to become the actress that she dreamed of becoming, and I was going to give all of myself to her and have the courage to become the musician that Jackson demanded. And that was a beautiful experience that I'm going to take for the rest of my life.
Was she ever hard on you musically, saying you haven't quite got it that time?
I'm pretty hard on myself. It's been a curse and a blessing. Yeah. No, she was always encouraging.
Can I ask the other actors here, Sam and Anthony especially, about the roles that you played in this film? And was it a similar process? I mean, you guys are much more experienced in terms of dramatic acting. Did Bradley surprise you, or how was he working with you in terms of getting your performances?
Every time anybody started singing in this thing, I was crying, and I was totally unprepared for that. I'd never met Bradley before this project came my way, and I've known him from afar, certainly, and been a huge fan forever. My daughter is Stephanie's age, and I've been listening to Lady Gaga for a long, long time.
I think we all love that.
I have a Rolling Stone magazine up in my place up in Oregon in which Gaga is standing there like this with these big... You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
We all remember that. When I went and met Bradley, he played a tape for me that he'd been doing this work on my voice with a voice coach, and there's a line in the movie, I swear to God, it was me doing a looping job. It was incredible. Anyway, I was really taken with the fact that he'd done that. I knew that he was committed to having me in his film. I knew that it was going to be incredible because of who was involved, and also the studio that involved. I've been around Warner Brothers a little over the years, and I know the people that are there, and it's just, they're filmmakers. Bradley clearly is some sort of a genius. I'm not sure. I'm not equipped right at the moment to really give you much on it, but I've never worked with a director that was an actor before. And I think that there's a sensitivity that Bradley has in terms of what actors need or what actors want to come to the fore and do the best work. And he's tireless. He never quit on this thing. I saw it 3 months ago, and tonight it seemed like a different movie to me personally because there were things for several of the actors that weren't in it the last time I saw it. And he was just tireless. He just never let up on it. And that's the kind of genius filmmaker that this man is. It's just astounding to me. And we're...
Agreed. And Anthony, can you tell us a little bit? People might have seen Anthony Ramos in a number of different things recently, from She's Gotta Have It, the new series, to a film at the festival, Monsters and Men, especially. But you changed from role to role. This is a very different role, and you had to develop a very close relationship with the character that Gaga plays. What was that like for you?
I mean, it's dope. Stephanie's dope. You know, Stephanie is, you know, when you have somebody that opens up to you like the way she did to me so quickly, you know, it's almost overwhelming. You know, you're like, damn, hold up, all that heart, hold up. I can't handle all that in one sitting, but she's like, yo, take it or leave it, son. So I was like, all right, I'll have it all, I'll have it all. You know, it's a blessing to be able to be a small piece in such a big picture that's way beyond anything I think any of us could have ever imagined or imagined, just a period. And then you got a director like Bradley, who is, he looks you dead in the eye with, I mean, it looks like he's looking into your 50 or 60 or 70 or 80-year-old self. Like, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm 25, bro. Like, and he's just like, trust me. I'm like, I trust you, dude, you know, and to have a director though that is, you know, under the table while you're shooting your scene with the monitor, or behind the steps right here, and you're just right there, and then comes over and it's like, all right, just feel her heart, you know, this is what she's going through. You're like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, let's go. And then he goes right behind the steps. My man's with the monitor looking over, and you feel him there. I mean, you just have leaders who they dive in, you know, it's like that parent that dives into the deep water and then calls the kid and says, come on. And you're like pump faking, and they're like, no, look, let me show you. They go under the water and they come back up. I'm telling you, don't worry about it. And you're just like, all right, cool. And you jump right in. And they're there to catch you. I mean, that's what it's like working with them. So, I mean, I'm blessed.
Fantastic. Wow. All right. Let's talk about the music, because you can't make A Star Is Born without this incredible music in the film. Bradley, I want to ask you first about how you shaped the music of the film. What were the inspirations? Who were you drawing on? And then Lucas, I want to ask you as well about your contribution to the musical side of the film.
You know, music is a character in the movie. There's not one lyric at any moment in the movie that doesn't reflect whether the character that's singing it or the character that's watching it, or where we are in the film story-wise. And it was something that we cultivated along with the script while we were shooting. We had an arsenal of songs at the top of the film when we started shooting, but we were writing songs during the filming. We were changing songs on the day. We would perform 3 or 4 songs within a scene that I would just so I would have it at my disposal in the editing room, and that's truly because I was working with these incredible musicians. Stephanie and I cannot say enough about the man sitting right there, his contribution to this music. Now, I gotta tell you, I saw him on the Jumbotron at Desert Trip, and he was kind enough to come, and we met the next day, I think, and I said, hey, you know, I'm doing this thing, do you mind if we just play a little bit? He's an incredible musician. Incredible songwriter, the sickest guitar player you'll ever hear. And I can't wait for I just hope I'm around long enough to watch you just get larger and larger and larger in the breadth of what you create as a musician. It's boundless, Lucas. It's boundless. And he's the greatest guy in the world, but he stuck with me. We were in my goddamn basement for a year. And I remember the thing you said to me, Lucas. Jason Isbell wrote the song "Maybe It's Time." It was incredible. And we had wonderful writers along with Lady Gaga. There was Mark Ronson, Hillary Lindsay, Jason Isbell, Lucas. We had a wonderful array of writers that helped out. But I remember we would sing "Maybe It's Time." We would rehearse all the time. And I remember you said to me, you said, look, man, when you get in front of an audience, you better have sung that song 1,000 times, maybe 10,000 times, because you're going to lose your breath up there. And I remember you looked me dead in the eye, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, he means it. And he was right. And both Lucas and Stephanie gave me I knew what I had to do. I was looking at these 2 people at the top of their game, and what I had to try to do just so I could be on stage with them and you would believe it. And it's all because of their belief in me and the time and the commitment. I can't tell you, I cannot say enough about the commitment that all of these people made to this film and all of the crew. It really did feel, half the crew's in the movie. It's true. Everybody, we did this together, and that's what I love about this art form. It is a collaborative art form. I thrive on that. I can't do it by myself. I need everybody around, and I just was around the greatest people in the world.
Lucas?
I guess what really it comes down to is that it's real. You know, what you're doing is real. What Gaga's doing is real. Every performance in this movie comes from a deep place. You know, a real place, and when it's real, it resonates with people. You know, when it's real, it touches people. If you're talking about things that matter, like suicide and loss and sort of inner turmoil, real things, you know, but also able to make people laugh at the same time and make people soothe people with song at the same time, you know, and to be able to combine all of those mediums through this medium and touch people, that's what art truly is. I think you've made all of us, we've made an art piece, you know, a piece of art with the music here. Stephanie and Bradley have become like family to me, and you know, they're there for me when I need them, and I hope they know the same is true, you know. And musically, you know, I saw Bradley first on Fallon air guitaring to Down by the River, Neil Young, who's a Canadian, by the way.
That's right.
And I thought, well, I like this guy already. Because to me, there's two types of people who like Neil Young and people who don't.
Well, you're in Canada, so...
Yeah, well, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I mean it. And I've left dates because of... Oh, I don't like his voice. Oh, okay, well... My mom's calling. I'm sorry. I have to go pick her up. So that was what endeared me to Bradley first, and then, you know, he had come to Desert Trip and literally only seen Neil's set with us, with Promise of the Real. Anthony and Tony, the drummer and bass player,
Incredible.
out there in the audience there. And then, you know, he called me up. I said, sure, he's a Neil Young fan. I'll go and sit and talk with him and hang out. And then he played me the recording that he was just talking about of the Creedence song, Roland, what was it? Midnight Special, yeah. And he played me that, and I said, oh, holy shit, he can sing. You know, he's got an ear, you know. You have to have an ear to air guitar the entire solo of Down by the River. And you have to know where the notes come. You have to know what the phrasing of each note. There's a solo section where I'm playing this guitar part, and it's right in the scene where she's first coming to the show, and she finally gets in the car. She decides to go and see him, and the music's playing, and there's that solo that's happening, and it's kind of like. He sang me that whole solo. He sang the notes, and he said, so right here it goes, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'll do it. You know. He was singing it exactly the way that he wanted to hear it. So he was a musician already. And then, you know, I just started writing songs just because I like to write. I'll write every day and showing it. And then Stephanie heard one of my songs, and her and I really, really connected musically and as friends. I mean, it's just, it's you know, it's beyond words. And so it just all came together in a really natural organic sort of way.
It sounds like it was that collaboration
Yeah,
that you were talking about earlier.
We just
Bradley.
just all fell in love with each other and started creating together, in that love. And I think that's why this movie is so cool.
Thank you. We're just about out of time. Look, I think the first thing a lot of us are going to want to do is see this movie again. Am I right? But I think, once we've seen it a few times, we're going to want to know, Bradley, will you direct again? Gaga, will you be acting again? Will we be able to see this kind of collaboration, this kind of work again?
Well, it was the most artistically fulfilling experience I've ever had, and it was the most at home I've ever felt ever as an artist. And so if someone will fund it, yeah, I'll do it again.
Okay. All right. And
I got
Stephanie?
5 on it.
I'll take that. Wait, 5 what?
Dollars, Lucas.
I have to echo Bradley. This was the greatest artistic experience of my career. Working with you, working with every single person on this stage, connecting with everyone. Yes, I am interested in acting more, but I am spoiled. I'll tell you something. I am spoiled because these are some talented, passionate people up here. They put every last drop of blood from their heart in their veins on the set every single day. And I watched you work tirelessly on this film, giving it everything, and you never stopped, and nobody here did. And
Yeah, you neither. I mean, you just destroyed every single scene you were in. So you gotta get it.
Listen, I probably said this earlier, but there can be 100 people or 1,000 people in the room, and 9,000 or 999 don't believe in you, and one does. And I would not be here without you, and you've made a tremendous dream of mine come true. And I want to act, but I don't want to act if I don't have a director like this.
Thank you. We are out of time. Please join me in thanking once again the incredible cast and director, Dave Chappelle, Lucas Nelson, Anthony Ramos, Sam Elliott, Lady Gaga, and Bradley Cooper.